Don't tell tech or safety. I'll probably never be allowed back here.
What are you racing this at?
So still got some 93 in it, so we're not at full power. But we're planning on doing roll racing today, and then hopefully get a drag pass or two. Would love to get an 8-second pass in this thing. I think it'd be really cool. All right, so we're gonna win.
Yeah, we're gonna stomp some Mustangs.
Evo 120. Gets there first. He goes 159.29 miles per hour.
We made it to the finals.
We did.
How's the car doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's doing pretty good. We're making lots of boost in second, and then tapering it out. One, because IATs are crazy, but also because our ethanol content isn't really that high. So mile per hour really good. Yeah. We're racing Chris Thomas, purple Challenger. I lost him at Bristol last year in my ZR1. It's a fast car. It's blower and nitrous. Runs like mid-low 8s. He went 135 in the 8th last year at Bristol. He was in the 160 mile an hour class. So we'll see. Fast car.
Pull off the car with my fan.
Yes.
The bike pulled it off.
We won.
We did! First time winning roll race. $800. So, pays for our fuel, kinda. Yeah. So we're gonna put some 1R in it now, let it cool off a little bit, and then we're gonna do some dig racing.
Hey Dad, can we go preaching?
Yeah, let's do that first. Let's go preaching. You wanna go preaching?
We're preaching.
Go preaching.
It is evident within them, for God made it evident to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood through what has been made, so that they are without excuse. You know, I've met some people, by God's grace, I've been a Christian 15 years, and I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people about God and Jesus, and some people claim to be an atheist. You know, I don't believe in God, but yet, when you read Romans 1, it says, all men know that God exists. God has revealed himself to all people. Since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen. No one is an atheist. Atheists don't exist. Everyone knows that God exists, and we are all without excuse. We look and study the eye. We see the complexity of the eye. We go to Boone, just an hour and a half away from here, and see the beauty of creation. We see there is a creator. And even in chapter 2, we see we have a conscience. If somebody walked up to you and stole your wallet today, you would feel a moral obligation that that person had wronged you, because God has written his law within your hearts. You shall not steal. So, all men know that God exists, but what do we do with it? Do we naturally worship God? Do we naturally give him the honor and praise that he is due? Not exactly. So even though we know God exists, we don't honor him. We don't give him the honor he deserves. You may say, well, I've been to church. Give him an hour out of 168. I've said that before. He owns it all. It's all his. It says, because mankind did not honor God, they became futile, vain, living for things that do not satisfy, living for vanity, rather than living for our created purpose for God's glory. And their foolish heart was darkened. It's the fool that says in his heart there is no God. Because the fool is using his reason, his brain, his God-given logic, all the while to try to argue that God does not exist. It says, professing to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of God for the corruptible creation. So what do we worship instead of God who is worthy of our worship? Look around you. What are we worshiping today? I like cars. My heart is drawn to worship cars, just like most of you here. We're drawn to worship all kinds of things. Family, relations, ourselves, most of all. There's a lot of people that think they're God here because they live for themselves. That's me. I've done that. We've exchanged the glory of God, who's worthy, who's awesome, who's all-powerful, and we've made ourselves God. We've exchanged the glory of God for created things. So what does God do? Look at our world today and you'll see exactly what the effects are of rejecting God. God gave them over to the lusts of their bodies. Not love, lust of their hearts, impurity. So that their bodies would be dishonored. For they exchanged the truth of God for a lie, and they worshiped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who was blessed. What do you see today in America? What are we celebrating this month? Worship of God or worship of self? This entire month, actually, thanks to our president and our government, devoted to the worship of self. Just be you. Love yourself. However you feel about yourself. You can do whatever you want. You are what matters. And yet the Bible just says that's idolatry. That's not what we were made for. We were not made for glory. We were not made to sit on the throne of our own lives. Because it leads to foolishness. It leads to impurity. It leads to crazy high anxiety and suicidal rates. I mean, if you look at our country, with all the modern medicine we have, people aren't any healthier than they were 40 years ago. We have more anxiety and depression medication now, and yet we're still just trying to fill our hearts with whatever we see, trying to find satisfaction, filling a leaking water bottle. So that's our problem. But the good news of the gospel and the good news of why we're here today is that God can save you from yourself. God saved me from myself. He not only saved me from my sin in eternity, but he saves us from our idolatry, from only living for self and whatever pleases us. He can save us from that. And he continues to save those who are his. So that's what we're here today talking about, is that God would have been just to send us all to hell. We all deserve it. We are all idolaters. And yet, God is merciful. Even the guy that flipped me off yesterday, God's giving him breath. God is giving breath in our lungs right now. Some of us to give him back worship, and others just to continue spitting in his face. But every breath that we have is a gift from him. We didn't cause our heart to start beating, and we don't keep it beating. In Psalms it says that God gives every breath, and every minute is in his sovereign providence. So today is a gift from him to you. What will you do with it? He sent his son Jesus Christ to live the perfect life that you were supposed to live. And Jesus not only lived the perfect life, obeying every law, never lying, never dishonoring his father and mother, never hating his brother, never looking at a woman with lust. He lived it perfectly so that he could die in our place, wretched, undeserving sinners who deserve nothing good from God. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. He didn't just die for godly people, because none of us are. He died for the ungodly like me and you. And so you can be saved today by turning to Christ, being transformed by his grace, so that you live for your purpose, that you find satisfaction in Jesus Christ. And not just the things of this world that will never satisfy you. So look around. People try to satisfy themselves with the world. The celebrities. and they still have depression. They still have divorce. They still have suicide. They're not happy because our hearts were made for eternity. And Jesus said, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will hunger no more. I appreciate you guys listening. Rate that performance. You guys are awesome. Thanks for listening. God bless.
So this is our stick shift class.
What's up? What happened?
What? It's the all-around. You can drive it to the track, run an 889, then go take it to the road course, and drive it home with the air conditioning on. So that's pretty amazing. It felt like a 9.9 to me when we ran 889. So I just wanted an 8-second pass. Like, obviously it has the mile per hour to do it, but the burnout was really weird. I tried first gear and it just like felt like it's wheel hopping. So, yeah. 60 foot felt obviously better than when it stalled the last 3 times I tried to launch it. Just engine shutting off. But it didn't feel like a 1.66. Not too bad.
Good job. Hey, where's your shoes?
The best part about it is I ran an 889 in flip flops. Don't tell tech or safety. I'll probably never be allowed back here. But flip flops for the win.
Yeah.
Clutch kick. Oh no, bro. It's smoking.
It's on fire. Oh no.
If you have any questions about today's content or Bible study, please reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook, Wretched Racing. You can email us at wretchedracing@gmail.com. If you'd like a Bible or any kind of gospel material, we would love to send it to you for free. We also have t-shirts and hoodies. Thanks for watching.